Hey everyone, it's Cory McCarthy and welcome to a new episode. In this episode I want to attempt something a bit different. A short thought experiment, if you will. I've utilized this specific hypothetical successfully in the past to help people empathize with the plight of animals. People who, hither to that point, claimed they could not make the connection and that this helped them gain perspective, if even a little. For my vegan viewers, just listen. Perhaps use this hypothetical to help your friends and family, or even complete strangers draw parallels. For my non-vegan viewers, open your imagination to the scenario I'm about to share, dim your lights, sit in a quiet spot, close your eyes, and let's begin. Imagine, if you will, it is sometime in the future. Not necessarily the far future, but the future nonetheless. We've reached the dawn of a new era for humankind. We've made first contact with an advanced extraterrestrial civilization, far, far more advanced than our own. They traversed the stretches of interstellar space and arrived to our tiny spot in the universe, our home, Earth. And while everything seems so very exciting, awe-inspiring, and even surreal at first, unfortunately for us, they did not come in peace. Instead, they came with a penchant for the taste of our flesh and secretions. We tried to resist. We threw everything at them that we had. Alas, we did not stand a chance. Not even a blink of a chance. We were no match for their advanced technology. In the wake of our defeat, we were imprisoned in conditions reminiscent of the farms in which we used to keep our own livestock. The older generations were immediately and systematically killed, as they were feeble, and their meat wasn't as delectable to the invaders' palates. Nonetheless, their flesh was kept in cold storage for a different use, which I will be getting to. Younger men were either immediately killed for food based on demand, or were genetically selected for breeding purposes, where they'd be hooked up to machines and their semen would be extracted. Fertile women were perpetually impregnated, and when they deliver a child it would be taken away, and the thoroughly distraught woman would be connected to a cold machine and pumped of her breast milk. While the infertile women, or those whose fertility had dwindled, were systematically slaughtered for food. The offspring from this process would either be thrust into this very same cycle that was imposed upon us by the invaders, or they too would be slaughtered for food. Their youthful flesh considered a tender delicacy. Of the men, women, and children who were kept alive, they were fed the flesh of the older generations, meat that was not of high enough standard for the taste of the invaders, but sufficient sustenance for the human livestock. And fuck help you if you begged, cried, protested, or refused. The invaders were anything but gentle. Beatings, electrocutions, even rape was not uncommon. Sometimes these acts were committed purely for their amusement. Speaking of amusement, some of us were kept as pets, servants, or even encaged in a form of intergalactic zoo, or forced to perform in violent circuses for their entertainment. We were effectively broken, as a species. The once legendary human ego, or at least legendary in our own minds, was nothing more than an artifact of a bygone era. Hollywood would once weave us stories of our triumph over the greatest odds, including those from another world, when in reality we lasted mere seconds. We lost the race at the starting gun. But not all among them were so cruel. A small minority empathized with our plight. They protested. They refused to consume of our bodies. They refused to exploit us for their amusements, refused to recognize us as any sort of commodity. While they could not communicate with us in any complexity, they still witnessed the intelligence and sentience in our eyes, in our behavior, and our mannerisms. They related it to their own. Despite harsh bullying, criticism, and backlash, this movement grew in our favor. But it would be a long road. No end was even in sight, just hope. For it wasn't that we were necessary for their species' survival, but rather, we were delicious, a convenience, a luxury. We had become a way of their life, a way that they were not keen on giving up. Can you imagine what it would be like? Helplessly witnessing your friends, family, and fellow man imprisoned, exploited, and even killed, knowing that your own number would be called eventually. Does it make it any better or worse, knowing that there's no good reason for any of that happening? That you and those you know simply taste good. Your desire to live and experience completely unimportant to them. The value of your life reduced to the taste of your flesh and bodily fluids on the invaders' tongues. While for you, this was merely a hypothetical, a thought experiment, at least for now. Understand that this is a current and horrific reality for over 56 billion farm animals killed each year by humans. Please consider their plight and try to see the parallels. The animals' desire to live, to be free of imprisonment, exploitation, pain, fear, and death. Consider the myriad of alternatives at your disposal. Put your foot down and refuse to take part any longer. Go vegan. I hope you've all enjoyed this different sort of presentation. If you did, please like it and share it so that the message can get around. Also, please subscribe to my channel if you have not done so already. I release content often. Otherwise, till next time, my friends.